Well, good morning, family. You'll have to excuse the bounce. My rig is connected to my waist, and so anytime I tighten my core muscles, we get a little whoop, pop. All right. So I'm not on a roller coaster. I'm actually out here just getting some fresh air in nature with my boy Rocky. I wanted to talk real quick about what exactly is the function of psychedelics, and specifically, how does ketamine play into that? So, there's a wide variety of different types of psychedelics available today, plant medicines and chemicals made by man alike. And, I'm going to leave the man-made chemical part aside because, the reality is I think nature did a pretty good job. And I think that anytime man tries to create a secondary version of something, it's just based on profit and greed. And so I'm a naturalist. I believe in nature. I believe that nature provided all of the benefit that we need. And so I believe we should use that. I think that's the most authentic path to healing. But I do provide ketamine assisted psychotherapy and have for the last 2 years. And so how do I reconcile that belief that ketamine is a man-made chemical, and I believe plant medicines are more authentic? Well, the way I rationalize that is actually by the way that ketamine functions. And so there's a lot of misconceptions in the world about how exactly ketamine works to help people release trauma. And most of the misconceptions or, most of the false hypotheses are all just based on a profit model, right? So ketamine has two different functions. They have the R-ketamine function and they have the S-ketamine function. The R-ketamine function is it's the dissociative function. If people say psychedelic, that's kind of a misnomer. Ketamine's not psychedelic, it's a dissociative and an anesthesia. But the R-ketamine is the part that pulls you out of your body. And it's very, very important. So the S-ketamine is just the antidepressant. And what Big Pharma did, because they couldn't make any money off of ketamine because the patent expired, is they split the compound in half and they created Spravato. And so Spravato is just S-ketamine, nothing else. And so what it does is it produces the antidepressant lift of the S-ketamine function, but it's time limited. It lasts for a short period of time. Rocky, come here, boy. Come on, the other way. Good boy. So it's time limited, right? And so what that means is if you're doing Spravato, you've essentially just replaced sertraline with Spravato. So instead of taking a daily pill, you're going to take a weekly sniff. But it's going to be for the rest of your life. And the reason for that is because it's only affecting your mood. Now let's talk about the R-ketamine function, the dissociative function. This is the part that heals trauma. And the reason people don't talk about this, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about the reason, but I think it's because if we did ketamine therapy this way, there would be no maintenance plans. At least that's been my experience. I've done ketamine assisted psychotherapy for 2 years now, and I think I have a 10% maintenance record. Only 10% of my clients ever convert past the first 6 sessions. So we talk about this dissociative function. Rocky, come on, boy. We talk about this dissociative function. What it does is it literally pulls you out of your body. And we have the conversation about the trauma that is causing the disruption for you. What a trigger is your body responding to a memory. It's a physical reaction within your body related to a memory. And Rocky, come on, the other way. And so with ketamine, by creating that dissociative effect, pulling you outside of your body to have the conversation, your body doesn't receive the somatic trigger. And it learns a new way to process the memory. Because prior to that, every time that memory came up for you, your body responded. You got anxious, you started sweating, you started shaking, heavy breathing, whatever those things may be. That's your body's memory responding to the memory. And so if you don't have a therapist in the room to keep you on track on ketamine, you have an opportunity to build traction through your integration work. But that also has a critical window of 24 to 48 hours after infusion, consumption, injection, whatever mode of administration you use for your ketamine. So you got two critical features if you actually want ketamine to help you and you don't want to waste your money. And the first thing is that you need a qualified therapist in the room. Without somebody redirecting you back to your intention, ketamine is just a recreational experience. And while I know there is value in that sometimes for some people, it doesn't move you past your trauma. And so if you're going to any clinic that's not engaging you while you're in the ketamine, they don't want you to get better. And there's no other way around it. They want you coming back for maintenance consistently every month for the rest of your life so that they keep a job. You got to make good choices with your care. You got to seek qualified providers. If you are considering doing ketamine assisted psychotherapy or ketamine therapy in general, anywhere in the United States, reach out to me and let me vet the providers for you. I will make sure that you have a provider near you that's doing the real, actual work. Because, Rocky, get out of the way. Come on. Good morning. Because without doing the actual processing and reaffirming the intention in the experience, you're just going to have a good mood for a couple weeks. And then you're going to cycle back down. So, ketamine assisted psychotherapy is incredibly valuable when done correctly. Unfortunately, it's not very profitable. And so because of that, a lot of people aren't doing it correctly. If you need any advice or support, if you have any questions or concerns surrounding ketamine therapy or any type of psychedelic therapy, my inbox is always open. Feel free to ask me a question anytime, and I would be happy to help you find the path. And as a constant reminder, we're losing 40 heroes today. 40 heroes are going to take their lives because Veterans Death Care Services doesn't serve them. So keep that in your heart. It's really important. I've lost way too many friends, way too many brothers and sisters. I love y'all. Ketamine is a viable option. Most likely it's a gateway. It gives you an approximation of a psychedelic experience so that maybe you're not as scared to do the real thing. And that's how I would approach it. I would approach ketamine as a gateway experience to the true plant medicine. And I think if you do that, you'll be doing just fine. I love y'all. Much love. San Antonio here. If you want what real community looks like, find me on Instagram, Not the Shaman, or on LinkedIn. And let's go for a hike, man. This nature is beautiful. It's here to serve us. Let's get to work. Love y'all.